All right. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first official episode of the JP Football Podcast. I'm your host, of course, Josh Pangan, or just Josh for the most of you. And yeah, it is currently a Sunday afternoon here in the States in the beautiful city of San Diego. So there's that. Everton played Leeds United yesterday. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a review yesterday because I was really, really busy. So I'm going to be doing my match review today. So the final score was Everton 2, Leeds United 2. And if I'm being quite honest, I'm actually kind of annoyed. I'm actually really, really annoyed with that result. And the only reason I'm annoyed is because we really should have won that game. I know fans on both sides will probably say, we should have had it or this or that. But overall, I do think Everton really should have had it. I do feel we had more of the better chances throughout the game. Of course, there was Dominic Calvert-Lewin who could have made the game 3-1, which really would have put the game to bed. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But Everton started off the game in what seemed to be, well, I think Sky or BT, one of them, they saw it as like a 4-2-3-1 formation, which sounded about right. Of course, with formations you could interchange throughout the match, but we had Pickford in goal, Lucas Dean and Seamus Coleman were our full backs there, wing backs, left back, right back, whatever you want to call them. Michael Keane and Yerry Mina, yeah, just making sure I got the roster right. Michael Keane and Yerry Mina were our center halves, center backs, and the two in midfield in front of them were Abdoulaye Doucouré and Alan, and I think those two are definitely our two best in that position going forward. Although I think Jean-Philippe Gbamin will have something to say going into that because again he's looked good. Like when he's not injured, he's actually looked good for us, and I really do hope he gets more playing time because we as Evertonians would love to see Jean-Philippe Gbamin get more playing time. And then the three mids up front, you had Iwobi, Alex Iwobi, Damari Gray, Richarlison, and then up top you had Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You had Big Dom, so there was that. And to be honest, Everton, the game started as the games do, although overall the game was end-to-end action stuff. It was a very, very entertaining football match. If you haven't seen the full game or highlights, I mean, you need to go check that out. It was very good. It was a good game of football. So we got our, I don't want to say it was an early goal, but it was in the first half around like after 30 minutes or so. Everton win a penalty, which to my surprise we actually won because Everton, we never win penalties. Let's be honest, we're not Manchester United. So it was quite a shock to see we actually won a penalty. I thought VAR was just gonna write it off, but luckily VAR didn't. Calvert-Lewin, he's just in a dangerous area in the box. Lucas Dean whips in the cross and Cooper brings him down. It was clearly a foul, clearly a penalty in the box. And then Calvert-Lewin, I actually didn't expect Dominic Calvert-Lewin to take the penalty. I thought I thought the likes of Richarlison was going to take it, to be completely honest. But I'm glad Calvert-Lewin took it. It was a referee blues whistle. It was a little quick run up, and then he smashes it into the back of the net. Melia, the Leeds United goalkeeper, he guessed the correct way, but Dom placed it fine with a good enough pace, good enough power. And Everton, we have our 1-0 lead. And I felt good about that. I was like, all right, this is a really good thing to have because we were at Leeds United home, which is Elland Road for those of you who don't know. And basically the reason why this game, or at least I was pretty nervous going into it, is because Leeds United, in my opinion, are not that bad of a side. They may not be the best side, but they're very fit. Marcelo Bielsa, their manager, he has them, he's molded that team for a couple of years. So he definitely has an identity with Leeds and they know what they're doing. Although I do got to say, Leeds were very wide open in the back. They're back, very wide open in the back, which, makes sense as to why United smashed them 5-1 2 weeks ago at this point. But, Bielsa played them in like a 3-3-3-1 formation. And if you haven't heard of that, it's because Bielsa is one of those managers. He very unorthodox, but again, it's his style, it's his play. I got to respect the Leeds manager for that. So And he did play in like a 3-3-3-1 today as well. But anyway, like I was saying before I was tailing off there, Calvert-Lewin, he smashed the penalty in, and Melliot couldn't really get to it. And oh yeah, about Elland Road. It was the first time that Leeds United had a full packed house because they went back into English Premier League football last season, but obviously due to COVID-19 and the pandemic reasons, they weren't allowed any fans. So this was the first time they had all their fans at Ellen Road back in the Premier League. It was a really big deal for them. And, the crowd, the atmosphere, I thought was brilliant. I thought it was fantastic. Those Leeds fans, they're definitely passionate, just like a ton of Premier League fans all around. And again, crazy atmosphere. So that's what I was a bit worried about. And, the worrying did start a bit, especially around after 10 or so minutes, around like the 40th, 41st minute. Yeah, afterwards, Leeds started pushing a bit. They had more possession of the ball than we had all game by far, and the way they got their goal, I forgot which one of their center halves had it, but he just plays a long ball forward. And then I think it was Rafinha. I think Rafinha, he like flicked it on, and Michael Keane I I don't know if I can put the full blame on Michael Keane. I mean, he could. Well, no, I'm going to put some blame on Michael Keane. Michael Keane couldn't get to the ball in time, and he just missed it, and it nicked, and it fell to Patrick Bamford, which pulled Yerry Mina out of position, because then Yerry Mina had to go cover Patrick Bamford. Then Bamford crosses it back for Mateus Click, I believe it was Mateus Click. He pulls it back from Mateus Click, and all Click has to do is put it past Jordan Pickford. He sent Pickford the wrong way, and all of a sudden it's all square 1-1 at Ellen Road. And that doesn't look good for Michael Keane. It doesn't look good for the Everton defense, but it doesn't look good for Michael Keane, because a lot of fans are going to look at that and be like, "Oh, mate, that's 2 mistakes in 2 weeks where you cost us a goal." And, this goal proved to be more costly than last week's goal, because, we ended up tying the game. We didn't get our win. And so, Michael Keane is just one of those center backs where he'll have solid performances, right? But then the very next week, he'll get nervous, and, he won't play as well. And, he's a little bit frightened of pacey forwards and wingers coming at him. And I don't think we're as split on Michael Keane as Everton fans were before. I think if we sold him or he was on the bench, we could care less, to be completely honest. I think our best center back partnership going forward is by far Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey. But, Ben Godfrey is obviously out with injury at the moment, which is why he didn't play against Leeds. I'm sure he would have played against Leeds if he were fit and not injured. But yeah, the best we could do right now is Michael Keane or Holgate, and we opted for Keane. And he makes that bit of a mistake, and it leads to a Leeds United goal. And I was really worried and nervous after that Leeds United goal, because it was 1-1. And then I kid you not, as soon as we got the restart, the kickoff back underway, Leeds were pressing. They were pressing. At one point, there were like 3 Leeds players on one of our Everton players in our own half. And, we were kind of struggling to get it out at first. And, the energy that Ellen Road brought to push the players to keep pressing us and attacking us was really scary for an Evertonian fan to witness. But we actually got another chance around Abdoulaye Doucouré. He had a shot on target, very shortly after Leeds equalized. So that's good, and we want to see more of that from Abdoulaye Doucouré, because, he's a midfielder that we want attacking. We want taking shots. We want scoring goals. And, he got his shot on target. So, props to him for doing that. And then halftime rolled around. It was 1-1. It was all square. And I was feeling a little bit nervous going into the second half, because, again, Leeds just got the momentum back. It seemed to be going on their side, especially with the crowd on their side. And, that was that. But then second half started. And then not too long into the second half, Damari Gray, who so far this season has looked like an absolute steal of a signing. 1.2 million pounds from Bayer Leverkusen. That's where we got him from, if you didn't know that. And he was excellent, wasn't he? I thought he was really, really good this game. And again, so far, he's just looked like a steal. I know some people were a bit skeptical, mainly about his signing and Andros Townsend, who I'll get into a little bit later, although Townsend didn't really do much this game, came on as a sub. Anyway, but Demarai Gray, again, it's a good piece of business. He's young. He's only, 24, 25 years of age. He has Premier League experience, back in his days with Leicester City. And, he looks like he wants to play for this club. When he scored his goal, you could see the celebration. You could see it in his face. You could see what it means to him. You could see what it means to the lad. And that's all you want. Now, he did try one of those like knee slide celebrations, and he completely messed it up, but it's okay. All that matters is the goal he scored. It was good link up play, and Alex Iwobi, was it Iwobi involved? One of the players were involved, and one of our play, we play Demarai Gray through, and you think, the ball's dragged a little bit wide. He does a couple fancy step over scissor moves, and then he takes a touch, and then he just smashes it with his boot into the far post corner there, like bottom far post corner. And, he scores. It was brilliant placement. I believe he nutmegged Stuart Dallas on the way with his shot. And when I saw Demarai Gray scored the goal, I started celebrating like crazy. I was going, yes, yes. I was going crazy because, getting your first goal in that sort of fashion, it was wonderful. Very well taken goal from Demarai Gray. And, I really hope he continues to play well for Everton. He's definitely giving us chances off the wing with pace and whatnot, whipping in crosses for Calvert-Lewin to get a chance. I believe Demarai Gray is much better deployed as a winger than he does play centrally in the park. So, just really happy with Demarai Gray there. Very good. And then, speaking of Alex Iwobi, actually, because then Everton, we started getting more fluid, more into the motion, more into the flow of things in the second half. Alex Iwobi plays, a decent ball and a really good ball, actually, to Calvert-Lewin. And then he's one-on-one with the keeper, a center back's closing him down. And instead of chipping Melia, he shoots it right at him. And, we don't get a corner off of it. But that was really, really frustrating because if Calvert-Lewin chips the goalkeeper, it's 3-1. And that, I really believe that probably would have put the game to bed. And, that's what Dominic Calvert-Lewin's critics are going to be on him about. Calvert-Lewin's critics are all about, he, when it comes to finishing, not necessarily headers, of course, but like with his left boot or his right boot, he's not as clinical, he's not as prolific. And, that sort of goes to prove it. Now, look, I love Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's an amazing forward. He's our best goal scorer, other than the likes of Richarlison and maybe James Rodriguez when he's fit and healthy and doing all that. But again, Dom is like our best goal scorer. He was our top joint goal scorer. It was our top goal scorer last season. And, but he does need to take those chances and he does need to finish them off. That's what he really needs to do. But, regardless, he will continue to get better. And I do think he will continue to get opportunities like that. And he will finish them more and more often to silence those critics. And by the way, for the Evertonians out there, the Everton fans that want to sell Dominic Calvert-Lewin, all I got to say is, well, who are we going to replace him with? Honestly, who are we going to replace Calvert-Lewin with? Because as far as I'm concerned, that's a lot of goals we're giving away. And who realistically can we replace? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head at the moment. And realistically, who are we going to get? So, yeah, no. Selling Calvert-Lewin would have been a horrific idea. And that's that. But, I will say he should have made it 3-1. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't. And then, Leeds, they started attacking more. By the way, Leeds had 70% of the possession of the football game. And yet we still had the same amount of shots as them. They had like 17 shots. We had 17. We had 8 on target. I'm sure we had more on target than Leeds. And yet we only had 30% possession. They had 70. So just because possession in football, by the way, possession in football means nothing. It means absolutely nothing because you can control a football match. You can control a football game without having possession of the ball. And, it's been proven. I mean, look at Jose Mourinho. Look at some of those Jose Mourinho sides. I mean, he's proven that you can control a football match without having possession of the ball, and he's one of the best to ever do it. I mean, his resume speaks for himself, Jose Mourinho. So there you go. But yeah, that's kind of that. Leeds started getting back into the game more. You know, we were defending all right, and then they win a set piece, or not a set piece, but the ball is whipped into the box, another long ball, and we failed to clear it. That was one of the most aggravating things about the game. We failed to clear it, and we let one of their players like pass it back out to Rafinha. Like, we just let him set it up. He just does a nifty little pass to Rafinha. And by the way, oh my word, like Rafinha was this player I was scared of the most coming into this game. He always seems to want to get a goal against us, and he did it again. And Rafinha, he just absolutely whips it with his left foot, an absolute screamer of a goal, curls it in past Jordan Pickford. And look, there's nothing Jordan Pickford can do about that. But that goal, that was just a really good goal. But it could well be avoided if we just clear it instead of letting one of the Leeds players set Rafinha up to hit it, and it cost us that goal. It tied the game 2-2. And then at that point, again, it was just back and forth stuff. Townsend came on for Iwobi. Keane came on for Calvert-Lewin in the latter stages of the game. And then Delph came on for, is it Damari Gray? Was it? Came on for, I think it was Gray. Came on for someone, I think it was Gray. Which kind of scared me, if I'm being honest. I am, Fabian Delph, I don't think I've really met an Evertonian that's actually liked Fabian Delph. I know why. I understand why we don't like Fabian Delph, but he was actually okay. I thought he was fine when he came on, which was good. Townsend, when he came on as a substitute, he didn't really do much. So I don't really have too much to say about Townsend. And then Moise Keane, I mean, came on with about 3-4 minutes left, so he was just running around, see if you can do something those 3-4 minutes, which usually you can't really do when you only have 3-4 minutes of a football match. But yeah, that was kind of that. And the game eventually ended. We had one really big chance at the end off a corner kick, and Michael Keane, he got his head to it, but he didn't have the power to beat Melia, whatever the keeper's name is for Leeds. So, he caught it, but it was a decent effort from Michael Keane. And I definitely do believe if he scored in, the 91st minute, that would have made up for his mistake. But unfortunately, wasn't the case. And then, Leeds, continuing to push, looking for a goal. By the way, Patrick Bamford and Yerry Mina throughout the game, they were having little goes at each other. And that's the thing I like about Yerry Mina is he's a bit of a troll, isn't he? He'll troll you and he'll try to get into your head. But Yerry Mina, I feel he also knows, he doesn't push it too far. He doesn't push it too far where he's getting himself booked, which is good because, he's a smart player. And I got to say, especially in the 94th minute, brilliant defending from Yerry Mina, absolutely fantastic defending from him. The ball was whipped in the box, and Bamford is literally all alone if it weren't for Yerry Mina. Mina was the only one covering him, and he just heads it out of the box brilliantly. And luckily, the Leeds United player that got on the end of it didn't have a good shot at all. And, Bamford actually tried to have another shot, but Mina cleared it again. So brilliant last minute defending from Yerry Mina to make sure we got a point from Ellen Road and we didn't lose the game 3-2, which would have been very, very, very tragic. So yeah, that's that. Again, 2-2 draw at the end of the day. Really think we should have came away with it, but I'll take a point from Ellen Road. And yeah, haven't lost yet. 4 points from 2 games. Hopefully we can make it 7 points when we play our next opponents in the league. And yeah, but Everton's next game, I believe, is against Huddersfield in the second round of the EFL Cup, Carabao. Are they still calling it the Carabao Cup, or are we just sticking with EFL Cup? Anyway, we're playing them, so that should be a interesting match to do. Start off our cup run there. But that's all I really have to say about the Everton Leeds game. I don't think I've missed too much of anything. So yeah, that's kind of my it's kind of my match review and thoughts of the game. So yeah, and there you go. So jumping into it though, before I end the video again, I don't want to just do the match review of the day. I also want to, whatever days I'm doing the videos, I also want to talk about Everton rumors of what's going on at the club. And I wrote a few rumors down here. So apparently, according to the Mirror, Everton have made a £5 million bid for 19-year-old Rangers right back Nathan Patterson. Don't take too much from this. I don't see a real development of the story, to be completely honest. It's nice to see but a 19-year-old right back. That's nice because we do need a right back replacement for Seamus Coleman. I think Coleman's going to agree with that. He's getting up there with age, and I just don't think that John Joe Kenny as a replacement is very good. Well, good enough. So, there's that. And then another rumor was that Everton have joined the race to sign defender Malang Sarr, the 22-year-old from Chelsea. He's also had interest from Bologna from the Italian league and Frankfurt from the German league, I believe, the Bundesliga league. The source is Di Marzio, so I assume an Italian source. But again, I don't know how much of that is true anyway. These are just, a couple rumors I saw earlier about, pursuing, defenders and specifically right backs, because, that's a position that we do need to address. There's only 8 to 9 days left in the transfer deadline day window. And again, I don't really know who we can get in. We don't really have too much money due to, financial fair play, aka FFP, because of the horrible dross amount of money we've been spending over the past seasons. So I mean, that's kind of that. But again, with both of those rumors, I don't really know too much about either player. According to Rangers players and fans, apparently Nathan Patterson is actually quite good. So I mean, do with that what you will. As far as Malang Sarr, though, he plays for Chelsea. I don't know too much about him. I don't even know if he's really played for the club or the team first team wise. The only thing, in my opinion, big that's going on with Chelsea is that they got Lukaku back, and he made his re-debut, I guess, with Chelsea today, and he scored against Arsenal. Arsenal, man. Anyway, yeah, he scored against Arsenal. So props to Big Rom. Obviously former Everton player, and we loved him when he was here. And it's just I'd love to have him back, but obviously that's never going to happen ever. So there's that. But anyway, so that's all I really got to say about Everton for today. Again, our next match is against Huddersfield Town, which I believe is a championship side in the EFL Cup, the second round, and we better win, because what a horrible start to a cup run that would be if we just managed to lose to the likes of Huddersfield in the cup making its rounds. So yeah, there's that. And oh boy, the sun has come out a bit, making the lighting and my face in this camera just look very, very bad. So yeah, again, I'm sorry the camera quality isn't the best, but again, this is what we're gonna have to deal with. This is what we're gonna roll with at first. Anyway, done really talking about Everton. As far as big things going on in the footballing world, well, obviously Varane got introduced to United, and United actually drew 1-1 against Southampton today. Mason Greenwood scored a goal, their lone goal, and Mason Greenwood, I mean, he's looking like a stud, isn't he? Like that man is going places, Mason Greenwood. City bashed Norwich 5-0, which isn't a surprise. I mean, it's really not a surprise. Trying to think of other big things going on in the footballing world. Juventus played today. I think Ronaldo scored like a 94th minute game winner to make it 3-2 against Udinese, except he got booked for taking his top off. And then I believe the goal was ruled offside like 2 minutes later by VAR. So yikes, do with that what you will. I don't know any big news coming out from Barcelona, Real Madrid recently. I mean, again, the season's just getting underway, so there's not too much going on there. PSG, again, not too much going on with big clubs that over there. I will say this though. as far as Italian league teams from Serie A goes, I'm really going to be following Roma this season, AS Roma, due to the fact that their manager just so happens to be Jose Mourinho, and they're a very big team. Now, I might get a bit of stick for saying this, but look, Jose Mourinho is my favorite manager. And again, I might be getting a lot of stick for that, but I don't really care. But I really like Jose Mourinho. I think that, compared to other managers of his class, the Peps, Simeone, just all of them, he's different in a sense. And I like that about him. And, I like how direct and blunt he can be. And I mean, just look at Jose Mourinho's resume. I mean, his resume speaks for himself. I believe it three-time Champions League. Well, three-time Champions League win. He's won the Champions League, he's won league titles as well. So again, his resume speaks for himself, Jose Mourinho. And I think he gets a little more hate than he should be getting. But, I'm glad he's out of the Premier League, if I'm being honest. I'm glad he's not with Tottenham anymore. It made it a little bit hard to root for him. But, we beat him, though. So there you go. But he's over at AS Roma now in the Italian league. And Roma got a good side. They got some decent players over there at Roma. Zaniolo being one of their top young Italian prospects. He's an up-and-comer for sure. I'm sure you football fans know who Zaniolo is. So there's that. But yeah, I think Mourinho is going to do good with Roma this season. I think he's going to show, why he's been a top manager for a while, and that. So I'll be following them. But other than that, I don't really have too much else to say about the big clubs around the world, or just clubs in general with football. It doesn't even have to be big clubs. I just mentioned them because, they're always trending and they always got some news going on with them. But again, if you want me to speak of other clubs and other divisions and other leagues, by all means, go ahead. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, always remember to support your local communities and, well, just local anything, because it really does help them, because they're not as big as, well, the clubs that I'm speaking of, or the clubs we all know. And speaking of supporting local teams and communities, again, I'm over here in San Diego, California, and football over here in America, it's different in the sense we don't have like a promotion relegation system. We just don't. The top tier of football in America is the MLS, and then like the second tier right below that, it's called the USL, United Soccer League, or something like that. And one of the teams in the USL, they're called the San Diego Loyals. And I actually went to the game last night with a couple mates here and there, and a group of people, and it was so much fun. The atmosphere was absolutely rocking. Unfortunately, they lost 2-1 to an Orange County team or something like that. But again, the atmosphere was superb. I loved it. Going to a professional football match, it's just it's unlike any other. It really is. The fans going wild, like all the emotions that just come out of me. It really is fantastic and brilliant, and it's always good to support your local teams and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all I feel I really officially really have to say now. By the way, I know that I've said in the description of the channel, we will have interviews with local stars and hopefully bigger players along down the road. I don't know when that will necessarily be. I'm thinking getting a couple episodes up and then we'll do an interview, which should be fantastic. But, hopefully you guys can get a few more people to subscribe and like and all that, so we can get more people to find out about these stars. So yeah, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you have liked this video about my match review on Everton, Leeds, other big football clubs, supporting your locals, leave it a like, and give me a subscription, turn on your bell notification so you don't miss a video. And by the way, leave in the comments below if there are certain aspects, certain things of football you want me to talk about, clubs, other than Everton. Please let me know and I will address it, and I will talk about it in the very next episode that comes up of it. So yeah, do all that, spread the word about the JP Football Podcast. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Josh, and thank you for joining in this episode, the first official episode of this podcast channel. So thank you very much again. I really, really appreciate it. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen.